I think I'm better with plants in real life than I am with board games. This is our review of Verdant.
Verdant is a pattern building set collection game about collecting houseplants, and I had a lot of fun testing out my green thumbs.
Every time I play this game, I like it a little bit more. I guess you could say it's growing on me. We'll tell you all about it after this quick how to play. The game takes place over 13 rounds, with each player taking a turn each round.
Players will draft plant cards, room cards, and item tokens from the pool available to all players.
Players will construct a 5x3 home with alternating plant and room cards.
When a player matches a plant with a room condition, they will add verdancy to their plants to complete them.
Players will also add items to rooms to increase their possible point combinations.
Once every player has finished their home, they add up their points, and the player with the most points wins. Hey there, plant lovers. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to help our channel and our plant grow.
So we backed this game sometime last year. It's another Flatout Games, which also did Cascadia and Calico. We really like those pattern building games. So when we backed this game, we're really excited because we like plants, obviously. And when we got the game, the artwork on the cards is absolutely amazing because it's all different kinds of house plants. You have a coin plant here, so it matches the coin plant that we have. We have a few other ones, like we have a bird of paradise outside. I couldn't really bring that one in. But I really like all the artwork and the production value. So the verdancy, as they're called, are the nice wood, and you place them on your plants, and then when you complete them, you put them in the pot. So I like all of the production value that went into this game.
Now, I mentioned this before, and I do it a lot, but sometimes I judge a game by its cover. And, just hearing about the theming is like Verdant, and I'm like, plants? Like, what? And even as Kenny was explaining, like, oh, the artwork, I'm like, the cynical or the realistic side is like, it's a plant. Lucky bamboo.
But it's a pretty plant.
Yeah, when you look at it, like there's other things in here, right? There's little facts on the bottom of the card, and it talks about like the sunlight that they might or might not need. But I had a lot of fun with this game because you're building your rooms. You're also like, oh, is this a half sun plant? Which that's probably something like people who are having house plants, they worry about a lot. They're like, ooh, is this enough light here? Like,
yeah, so I like that the mechanics of this game work for the theming of the game. So you have room cards and you have plant cards, and you have to make a home out of them. And then when you're placing your plants, you have to line up the type of light that it needs, either a half shade, full sun, and you have to match them up to the room cards, which on each side will have shade, sun, half shade, etc. So when you match them up, then you get a verdancy tile, and then you can complete your plants. So I like how the mechanics of the game go with the theming. I don't like games that have cool theming and cool mechanics, and they just slap the two together. So yes, you're collecting plants, and they need the right kind of light in the rooms, but you're also building a comfy home. So you have the item tokens. So you have furniture, so you have your lamps and your couches. You have animals and pets, so you have a goldfish or cats and dogs. So I like that everything kind of goes together, and you get points for building the coziest home, and the mechanics make sense for it.
There's also a variety of ways to capture points. It gives you a little bit of creativity how you want to design your home in the beginning, so you can go one checkerboard way or another checkerboard way to kind of pivot depending on what rooms or plants you get. And if you're seeing that someone's racing to get all the pots with points, then okay, maybe you can kind of pivot and do something else, let them work on that, and maybe you'll go after the goals, or maybe you'll go after the high scoring plants. Really, if you want to get these, you have to like build plants pretty quick. So as long as you kind of keep in mind the many different ways that you can get points, you should be all right.
The drafting system in this game will remind you of Cascadia, where you have the cards and then you have another token with it. This one actually has two sets of cards. So you have room cards on top, you have tokens in the middle, and you have plant cards on the bottom. And you're always going to take a token or an item token, and you're going to take one of the cards, either a room or you're going to take a plant. So you have to decide, oh, I want this token in this room or this token in this plant. Or you also have green thumbs that will allow you to do different moves, like take this token with this plant over here and combine them in that way. So I like that if you've played other Flatout games like Cascadia, then you will already feel at home when you first start the drafting process, like, okay, I take this and then I'm building my little area. Only instead of building something in Cascadia, you're building a comfy little room, and you have to take your plants and your rooms and make them line up.
In terms of replayability, it has it, because you have different goals. You can make your room a different way each time, go after certain things that maybe other people are going after this time that they didn't go after the other time, and you can just have fun and be creative with it. I feel like these plant games, my mind just defaults to chill.
There is luck involved in what's available in the drafting area. So if you really need certain plants or certain rooms and they don't come up on your turn, they come up on another player's turn, they may be able to get all the room bonuses or they may be able to get the high scoring plants. But there are plenty of ways that you can pivot and take other strategies to use what you have available to you.
When we were playing it, it was always like that, you know, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I need a blue room. I need a blue room. And it just felt like it was at the bottom of the deck. Like no one had it. It just never came up. And finally when it did, it wasn't my turn. So I'm like, okay, well, it's got to come up at some point, right?
And it doesn't take that long to play. The box says 30 to 45, which is probably about right. But for a game of this level, I don't think a 30-minute game is that long for a medium weight game like this.
Overall, I really like all the unique pieces and how the theming just comes together. The mechanics and just the balancing of the cards, it all just flows very well together, and I'd be happy to play this numerous times. I'll give it a 7.5.
I really enjoyed this game. I feel like there's a lot of replayability with this game, and I'm sure that they'll come out with expansions. There's probably lots of other houseplants that you can have for this game. The actual puzzle of this game, I think, is a slightly more convoluted than the ease of nature of Cascadia and Calico, but it's still streamlined enough and still enough strategy there that I think advanced players will like it. So I really enjoyed it, so I'm going to give this game a 7. And that was our review of Verdant.
What'd you think? Are you green with envy because you haven't played it yet? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you're enjoying our content, please like this video, subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
I'm Kenny. I go party like a board gamer.